Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to be seated. The program is about to begin.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.
Thank you, Judge Thomas. I'm Leslie Green Bowman, and I'm honored to be the president of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation. Welcome to Monticello. Thomas Jefferson was only 33 years old when he wrote those immortal words. They are now among the most famous in the English language. With the power of his pen, he articulated a vision for America that would change the course of human history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That was actually a radical statement in 1776. It wasn't at all self-evident. Never before had a nation been born out of ideas rather than force or ethnicity. In a merely revolutionary document, Jefferson embedded fundamental principles of liberty, equality, self-government. And this is all that binds us together as Americans today. Ideas that we hold dear. We are nearly all descended from immigrants, just like you. But the ideas that bind us have, as Jefferson foresaw, had stunning impact around the world. In 1795, he wrote, "This ball of liberty is now so well in motion that it will roll around the globe." Today, more than half of the world's nations have a founding document that has been inspired in part by Jefferson's words. At Monticello, we are reminded that Jefferson's notion of liberty, while visionary for his time, did not extend to all people, not to slaves, not to women, not to Native Americans, not to men without property. Jefferson could not resolve the tragic contradiction between the promise of the Declaration and the glaring practice of slavery. It would take nearly 200 years, a civil war, and the leadership of countless citizen activists to ensure that all Americans could fully exercise their unalienable rights. The vision Jefferson articulated in the Declaration of Independence has moved beyond his time, inspiring each succeeding generation to protect and improve upon America's founding promise. Today, we honor every individual who has struggled for freedom in this country, and especially the hundreds of enslaved men, women, and children who lived and worked here and made Monticello possible. So this morning, we invite you to reflect on what it means to be American. From the very beginning, ours has been a nation that requires the active and ongoing participation of its citizens. And in just a few moments, 75 individuals from 41 countries will take the oath of American citizenship and begin their journey of participation in our own community. So to you, I say, this is your day, and we are honored to share it with you here at Monticello. Thank you. On behalf of the trustees and staff, and in cooperation with the United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia, I officially welcome all to the 54th Annual Monticello Independence Day celebration, the longest-running naturalization ceremony outside of a courtroom. And a warm hello to thousands who are watching us online around the world. I want to recognize some special guests with us in the audience today. In association with the Presidential Precinct and Virginia Tech, we're thrilled to welcome some of the 2016 Mandela Washington Fellows. They are participants in the flagship program of President Obama's Young African Leaders Initiative. They are gifted individuals working to inspire change in Africa within their local communities and governments. We are honored to have you with us today. We are also joined by friends from the Miller Center at the University of Virginia and John Hockenberry of WNYC, who later today will be recording a special edition of his radio show here at Monticello. And we're incredibly fortunate to be joined by one of our country's leading political analysts, Dr. Larry Sabato. Dr. Sabato is a familiar face to anyone who follows American politics, especially in this election year. Among his many roles and accolades, he is founder and director of the University of Virginia Center for Politics. He's a New York Times best-selling author, an Emmy Award-winning documentary producer, and a regular contributor to some of our nation's top political news broadcasts. On the national stage, Dr. Sabato is best known for his highly accurate election predictions. Since 2000, Sabato's crystal ball has boasted a rare 98% accuracy rate in projecting races for president, governor, the Senate, and the House. I'm not going to ask him today, however. His talents could have taken him in countless directions, but Dr. Sabato has chosen to dedicate his career to the Jeffersonian pursuit of knowledge and excellence in education. Over the course of 4 decades at UVA, Dr. Sabato has taught more than 20,000 students. So if he doesn't remember your name, forgive him. He is a common thread linking generations of Virginia graduates, many of whom trace their passion for politics back to his famed introductory course. In 2001, the university recognized his long record of service with its highest honor, the aptly named Thomas Jefferson Award. Now, just a reminder that every year at the conclusion of this event, we invite all citizens, new and long-standing, to register to vote, strengthening the foundation of American democracy. Few can speak to that power more eloquently than Dr. Sabato, whose work has transformed our understanding of American politics and elections. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Larry Sabato.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Leslie, so much for that warm introduction. I'm grateful to the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, to Chairman Donald King, and of course to you, the President, for inviting me to speak to you today. And I'm well aware that the weather is threatening and that it's already sprinkling, but you need to remember that in many cultures, most cultures, rain is a sign of good luck, good fortune. So this is good fortune, and I'm going to give you some good fortune because it is so threatening. I've cut the speech in half. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm an academic, and we speak in 50-minute intervals. So you do the math. I'm just kidding. It's not that long. If I may be permitted just one point of personal privilege, over the last decade, my UVA Center for Politics has hosted delegations of students from more than 40 nations all around the world, from Afghanistan, Argentina, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Peru, Ecuador, to Chile, Costa Rica, and coming soon, the Middle East and North Africa. They come to Charlottesville to learn about democracy and Thomas Jefferson, American style. And joining us today, having just arrived Friday, are 30 students from Belarus, and I want them to stand and be welcomed at this special place and time. I was with them just yesterday for a seminar, and boy, they're sharp. So we're delighted to have them here with us. And it's such an honor to address all of you, but especially our soon-to-be newest citizens. Any place is a good place to become an American, but no place is better than Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson, the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. That startling degree, 240 years ago, was the big bang that brought our nation into existence, and the event that we as a nation celebrate today, along here with marking Jefferson's death in this house on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. That was 190 years ago today at midday. Jefferson's story is almost universally known, his brilliance and passion for liberty celebrated around the world. Yes, his vision of liberty was regrettably restricted to one race and one gender. He was imperfect, as we all are, and a man limited by his times as we're limited by ours. Yet his virtues and accomplishments far outweigh his vices and failures. His life of extraordinary achievement and vision inspires and should command respect and gratitude. I'm especially appreciative that he founded the University of Virginia. I love my job, and I wouldn't have it had Jefferson not founded, against great odds, the university. So wahoo wah to all those of you from UVA. That's right. You speak up and be proud. And if the university, the founding of it, the Declaration of Independence, the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, the Louisiana Purchase, and the Lewis and Clark expedition aren't enough to induce your thankfulness, then maybe you've forgotten that Mr. Jefferson helped to introduce ice cream and macaroni and cheese to the United States. That should make you all hungry. I hope we have it at lunch. This moment isn't a celebration of Jefferson as much as it's a tribute to you and to your potential. The extraordinary thing about America is that each citizen is given the tools and the opportunity to make a difference and to leave a legacy that will continue once our brief moment on earth has passed. There are so many ways to produce a legacy, as there are people on the grounds of Monticello right now. Since I'm the speaker, naturally I'm going to recommend my favorite thing, politics. You had to know that was coming. It has to be politics. You want to talk about the weather, get a weather forecaster. I'm into politics. I realize politics has a terrible reputation. Mention the word and dark visions of corruption, bribery, and smoke-filled rooms are conjured up. I'll grant you the current presidential campaign certainly hasn't helped the reputation of politics. How I would love to offer you some pointed commentary on that subject and our current candidates, but decorum on this day of unity prevents me. Plus, several of the judges waiting to come out threatened to hold me in contempt of court. So I'm just not going to do it. We're not talking about them. Here's a revolutionary thought, though, for your fourth. Politics, the practice of it, the existence of it, the methods of it, politics in America is a good and necessary thing. It's the oil that greases the creaky machinery of government by encouraging responsiveness to public opinion. It's the glue that binds together a nation of continental expanse and stunning diversity. Unquestionably, the United States is the most diverse republic on the face of the planet, as you here today prove. We have concentrations on our shores of people from every other country around the globe. Without liberal application of politics, the centrifugal forces and the discord generated by diversity might rip apart the fabric of our society. Without skillful use of the political arts, how could we hope to make our system work when power is divided in so many ways, vertically with layers of national, state, and local governments, and horizontally with the separated powers of Congress, President, and Supreme Court? Politics is simply the means we use to make our nation work and to make our states and communities better places to live. Your power as an individual citizen is awesome. You can shake things up by speaking up, by starting a petition, organizing your neighbors, backing a candidate for office, or running yourself. And voting, of course, voting, always voting. The choices may not be ideal from time to time. Again, not talking about 2016, but part of a citizen's duty is to pick the best from a mixed lot. And get ready to vote frequently. And I don't mean for contestants on American Idol or voting people off the island. You're going to be called on to vote for serious reasons several times each and every year. Primaries and general elections and special elections galore. Just be glad you're in Virginia. We have a relatively short ballot. In California, they elect so many offices and decide so many issues that voting is a part-time job. By the way, if you want to quickly maximize your influence, just organize all your family and friends to vote. My late father was a first-generation Italian-American and a distinguished veteran of World War II. After the war, he became something of an evangelist for democracy. Not only did he never miss an election, he carted many members of our extended family to the polls, happily providing those who weren't fully informed with a list of preferred candidates. The lesson is you too can become a political boss with your own machine. Your local registrars in the city of Charlottesville, the county of Albemarle are right here with us. This is great customer service. I think they're over there. And before you leave these beautiful environs, be certain to register to vote. Truth is, citizenship is hard work. You have to do your homework because mistakes can prove costly. You see our good friends across the pond who made a decision on the European Union that millions are trying to take back. Too late to save the value of the pound or maybe even the integrity of the United Kingdom. Judging by the large number of Brits Googling, what is the European Union after they voted, it looks likely some electors didn't know what they were doing, with enormous consequences. The internet does make any voter's task easier, though it's critical to seek out the facts before casting a ballot. You also have to separate good from bad information. Here's my tip. Ignore the shrill voices. You can safely skip any website or delete any tweet that is written in all caps. Believe me, trust me on this one. Let me conclude where I began, when I cited Thomas Jefferson's amazing story. You, every one of you, also has a remarkable story. And you're beginning what we hope will be the best chapters of all, the ones penned as a U.S. citizen. Help us to live up to American ideals. Make us better. With your international backgrounds, encourage your fellow citizens to build bridges, not walls. Join us in civic enterprises that will benefit everyone. Your contributions may not make you famous, but fame is overrated. The Kardashians are famous and no one knows why. We're counting on you. We know you'll come through just as generations of new citizens have for the entire existence of America. America, the beautiful, now and forever your country. Congratulations to our new citizens, and happy 4th, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sabato, for those inspiring remarks and that wonderful tutorial on leaping into democracy. Now it's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to the Honorable Glenn E. Conrad, Chief Judge of the United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia, who will preside over the naturalization ceremony. He's joined by distinguished jurists and colleagues, among them the Honorable J. Harvey Wilkinson III, the Honorable Joel C. Hoppe, the Honorable Norman K. Moon, the Honorable Rebecca B. Conley, United States Attorney Mr. John P. Fishwick, Jr., Congressman Robert Hurd, representing Virginia's 5th District, and Acting U.S. Marshal Mr. Brad Sellers, who will now open the court.
All rise. The Honorable Glenn E. Conrad, Chief Judge for the United States District Court, is presiding. Oyez, oyez, oyez. The United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia is now in session and open for the transaction of business. God save these United States and this honorable court. Please be seated and come to order.
Well, good morning. On behalf of all the judges and personnel here in the Western District of Virginia, I add my note of welcome to this naturalization ceremony. Ms. Bowman identified all of the court participants except for 2. And I want to recognize Judy Webb, who's the court reporter, sitting back in the rear of the group today, and Joyce Jones, who's the deputy clerk, who's working with us and will be seen and heard from later as well. I also want to give special thanks to Leslie Bowman and all of her associates here at Monticello for their hard work in the planning and execution of this great program. As I think Ms. Bowman said, this year marks the 54th year in which our court has participated. It is one of our great traditions. On a personal note, my records reflect that this is my 31st naturalization ceremony here at Monticello and the 7th at which I've presided. Each of these ceremonies has been special. Each of the ceremonies has been unique. Each of the ceremonies has been unforgettable. I want to thank Ms. Bowman and the trustees of the foundation for their hard work, their dedication, their loyalty over the years, and also extend thanks to the leadership teams from past years. It's been a great run. As I've said before, there is something truly unique for our court, and I think all the participants who are present today, as well as their families and friends, in having a ceremony here at the home of one of America's greatest patriots, one of our greatest citizens. In 31 years, this is only the fourth ceremony that I can recall that has been impacted even in a small measure by rain. And I'm glad to see that most of the umbrellas have gone down. That's a good sign. I always like to be able to see the faces of those who are present, and I'm glad you've been able to put those umbrellas up. I hope that the rain, the bad weather doesn't dampen the enthusiasm of this very special occasion. Now, I know that the new citizens seated here in front of me did not come for a history lesson. They came to be inducted as citizens of the United States of America. Are you ready for that? Are you happy about that? How about family members? How about friends? And are there any of you who find their backsides just a little wet who would like for me to get this thing moving along? Raise your hands. Yeah, you're out there too. Well, all of you are going to have your wishes granted. And for the purpose of introducing those who are proposed for citizenship this morning, it is my great pleasure to recognize my friend John Fishwick Jr. John has only recently been nominated by the President, confirmed by the United States Senate as the United States Attorney here in our district, the Western District of Virginia. Hence, this will be John's first opportunity to participate in the introduction of citizens for induction. So at this time, I recognize John Fishwick, United States Attorney for the Western District of Virginia, for the purpose of the introduction of the new citizens and appropriate motions. Good morning, Mr. Fishwick.
Good morning. I know this rain is just a minor challenge for all of our new citizens. They've accomplished so much today. What I'm going to do now is call out, we have 41 countries, and I'm going to call out the countries of origin for our 41 citizens. I would ask if I call your country out to please stand and remain standing if you can while I call out all of the countries. Afghanistan, Argentina, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Bolivia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Burundi, Canada, the People's Republic of China, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Ethiopia, France, Germany, Ghana, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, India, Iraq, Ireland, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Liberia, Mexico, Nepal, Pakistan, Peru, the Philippines, Russia, South Korea, Spain, Sri Lanka, Thailand, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Vietnam, and Zambia. I will make the motion, and then I think you will all come up and lined up. May it please the court, on behalf of Jay Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and Leon Rodriguez, Director of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, I am pleased to present to the court the following 75 applicants for naturalizations as citizens of these United States. Your Honor, each of these applicants has been found eligible and qualified to become a citizen pursuant to the laws of the United States. I am therefore pleased and privileged to move this honorable court to administer the oath of allegiance and renunciation and to deliver to them their certificate of naturalization. I invite you all to line up in the order I know they've spent time telling you about.
Come to the steps.
Yeah.
Place. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I've looked over your paperwork and it seems that all your documents are in order, perhaps a little soggy, but in order nonetheless. I grant the government's motion to admit each of you as a citizen of the United States. I have asked Chief United States Bankruptcy Judge Rebecca B. Conley of our district to administer to you the oath of renunciation and allegiance, also known as the oath of citizenship. Judge Connolly.
Thank you, Judge Conrad. I am honored to administer the oath. With those of you here for citizenship, please repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, you are American citizens. Would the audience please stand? Place your hand over your heart for the presentation of the colors by the Lewis and Clark Fife and Drum Corps, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Facing to the right, face. Roll off, step off, girdle I left behind you. Drums, roll off.
Let me ask the audience to be seated at this time, please. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Bowman and Dr. Sabato to assist me in the presentation of certificates of citizenship to each of our new citizens. I'm going to ask Mr. Fishwick to announce each of your names. When your name is called, please come forward and receive your certificate along with a memento of today's ceremony. And then take your seat back in the audience, please.
Barushi Gobitha Amar Singh. Alexander Aharon Schult. Shawan Suba. Fraxon Mumba. Juan Carlos Bisono. Vivian Ween Chabalengula. Rosa Elizabeth Vallis Salas. Majid Awad Al-Sira. Amjad Awad Al-Sira. Awad Tala Al-Sira. Dali Dawood Solomon. Miriam Hashem Saad. Felipe Rivero Malia Ado. Guadalupe Villa Serena. Eric Mawani Galenga. Wendy Neira Veramendai. Janet Shoshana Levi. Trinidad Zambudia Lopez. Sante Tamang. David Abraham. Karen Leslie Mayu Ham. Helen Elizabeth Kessler. Elena Maria Fernandez Valor. Michael John Chilmade. Kabura Achelai. Lloyd James Mutom. Mario Francisco Alela Granados. Christina Alicia Ross. Tenzin Chime. Inchin Kwan. France Xavier Pantalunga Nagra. Golem Muhammad Salakin. Bertukin Getu Kasa. Jasminka Hazrik. Jose Martin Amaya. Gabriela Carolina Garcia Antunez. Lillian Marie Thayer Fortna. Ashok Kumar Rajput. Isa Debaj. Janet Duvet Sesse. Pornfan Lupka Gerbert. Muhammad Taimur Sultan. Jenny Torres Perez. Harmon Jan Cool. Gunter Linus Muller. Judith Claire Christian. Paul James Guheen. Paul George Kent. Miriam DeBage. Maria Collarza. Nawal Mafek Al-Samai. Lee Matheson Hayworth. Quan Hadu Dang. Latifa Safai Kwiyami. Sharoz Farhan Shaikh. Giles Biscos. Salama Razuskai Hussein Al-Malham. Abdullah Mahmoud Al-Samari. Hanid Anas Yusuf Al-Said. Amy Nicolette Fair. Mian Muhammad Noman Faizai. Ludmila Abdul A. Yaiva. Josephine Haizo Hosang. Urido Mondragon. Martha Adjo B. McCarthy. Laya Irma Leher. Barbara Julia Garung. Maria Elsa Van Harlingen. Stephanie Maureen Chua. Mayank Kantai Gala. Kimberly Monhay Farah. Gabrielle Montez de Oca. Melanie Rosemary George Garnica. Rajiv K. Perth Gobineth Pillai. Anastasia Guligan. Please stand and place your hand over your heart for the national anthem sung by the U.S. Army Chorus.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. You know, I can't help but think Mr. Fishwick did so well in reading all the names of the new citizens. Let's give him another round of applause. Dr. Sabato was especially pleased that there were no Kardashians among your number. That's what you get. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I really enjoy about these naturalization ceremonies is that the effort, the end product, represents a collaboration of all three branches of government. The executive branch, represented by John Fishwick here today, reviews applications, determines who is eligible, makes recommendations to the court. The judicial branch, of which I am part, reviews those applications, makes sure the laws have been complied with, and determines who to induct as new citizens. But there's a third partner in this process, the legislative branch. The legislative branch makes those laws that govern the admission of new citizens and the determination of who's eligible. We have a representative from the United States Congress today, part of that legislative branch of our tripartite system of government. United States Congressman Robert Hurt has represented the 5th District, in which Charlottesville is a part, for the last 6 years. And I can tell you that at all the naturalization ceremonies that I participate in Charlottesville, and there are many more besides this very special one at Monticello, Congressman Hurt or one of his associates is there and participates. He is a strong supporter of the Immigration and Naturalization Program. And I think it's especially present that Congressman Hurt be here today because he's retiring from Congress after 6 years of service. He will finish his term in December of this year. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'm going to call upon Congressman Robert Hurt for any comments, any insights, any words of welcome he would share with the new citizens, their friends and guests.
Thank you, Judge Conrad. It's an honor to be here. Last week, I was in Charlottesville. I stopped by to get a cup of coffee in town here, and I ordered a coffee, and the nice woman behind the counter got my coffee, and as she handed it over to me, she said, "Are you Robert Hurt, the congressman?" And I said, "I am." And she said, "I'm Jasminka. I'm from Bosnia." And she said, "I am going to be an American citizen." She said, "I am so proud." She said, "I love America." She said, "This is my home." I said, "That is fantastic, Jasminka. Thank you for telling me that." I said, "When are you going to be sworn in?" She said, "Next week at Monticello." So here she is. Here are all of you. I welcome you. I congratulate you. I thank you. We welcome you as a representative for the people of Virginia's 5th District. I welcome you. We embrace you. We ask only in return that you embrace us in the same spirit of patriotism and love that Jasminka displayed to me. We ask that you embrace this country, that you look for every way to build it up. In spite of those who want to tear down our country, look for ways to build up our country and share your stories. Share your stories with your fellow citizens. Share your stories with your children. Share your stories with your grandchildren about why it's important to be an American. Share your stories with our children, all of our children, so that we can build up this country. In closing, let me say thank you. Thank you for reminding us the value of American citizenship. Thank you for reminding us of how important it is on this great day, July 4, reminding us how important it is that we preserve this country and look for every way to make it stronger. Remember also this, that as you now take on this responsibility and the rights of citizenship, that you are equal to, not any less bit of a citizen than George Washington and James Madison, and yes, not any less of a citizen than Thomas Jefferson. So God bless each of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Hurt, and thank you for your loyalty and dedication to our ceremonies over so many years. We appreciate it. Over the last 7 years, I have been fortunate to have a colleague and a partner at these Monticello ceremonies. By way of a civics lesson, I tell you that the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit is the court above the court on which I speak. It's the appellate court, and it ranks only second to the United States Supreme Court in its primacy in our federal judicial system. Judge J. Harvey Wilkinson III is a judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. In fact, He's a former chief judge of that court. And since he's headquartered here in Charlottesville, I've always considered Judge Wilkinson to be part of our court family, the Western District of Virginia. For the past 7 years, I have asked Judge Wilkinson to offer remarks on behalf of the court as part of the court portion of this ceremony, and on each of these occasions, Judge Wilkinson has answered the call. I thank Judge Wilkinson for his friendship and his dedication to this very important program. As I've said before from this platform, each time Judge Wilkinson speaks, he has something new to say, he has a new insight to share, and he leaves us with some very challenging observations and realities about the United States and our system of justice. It's my great pleasure to once again call on my friend, Judge J. Harvey Wilkinson, for comments and insights. Judge Wilkinson.
Welcome. It's so good to see all of you here, and I really appreciate your holding off the rain. That's quite a feat. It's a privilege to celebrate your citizenship at the home of Thomas Jefferson. And I always ask myself, well, why do we hold this unique naturalization ceremony? It's really the most special of its kind at this particular place. And there are a whole lot of reasons, but one has to do with the fact of the nature of Thomas Jefferson's genius. Now, a whole lot of people like to think they're geniuses, but very few really are. Why was Jefferson a genius? Was it his political achievements? He was a state legislator, a governor of Virginia, an ambassador to France, a secretary of state, a vice president, a president. And that's just for starters. Let's just say he was a political genius who happened to be at exactly the right place at exactly the right time. But he was so much more than a politician. He was also a philosopher and a writer, the author not only of the Declaration of Independence, but of more than 18,000 letters. Anybody here written 18,000 letters? No emails, no tweets. Go down to Monticello's gift shop, and you'll see the books of Jefferson's letters are comprise a library all by themselves. Jefferson was a musician. He was a skilled violinist who loved to entertain his schoolmates at college. Jefferson was also a lawyer. I know what you're thinking. You're asking why a genius would ever want to become a lawyer. But the list goes on. Botany, paleontology, astronomy, these were all near and dear to Jefferson's heart. Even more so was horsemanship, and so was architecture. Jefferson not only designed Monticello, but also the plow that tilled its fields, and even that early copying machine that helps him and us save copies of his letters. Genius is often cosmopolitan. Jefferson traveled abroad when many founders lived their lives very close to home. Now, James Madison, for example, he was something of a homebody. He spent endless hours kind of hanging out at his father's farm, and he really never went much farther than Princeton. Jefferson knew French, Italian, Latin, and other foreign languages. And who else but Jefferson persuaded Congress to adopt the idea of decimal coinage, of having 100 cents for every dollar? His genius lasted late into life, as all of us know, in his 70s and 80s. he became the founder and father of our beloved University of Virginia. This is not to say that Thomas Jefferson was the best in every area. Even among his contemporaries, Ben Franklin was a better scientist, James Madison a greater political philosopher, and Washington a better president. But when the buzzer sounds, when the game is over, Jefferson wins because he was good at so much. No wonder that President Kennedy would later joke to a group of Nobel laureates that, quote, "This is the most extraordinary collection of talent, of human knowledge that has ever been gathered at the White House, with the possible exception of when Thomas Jefferson dined alone." 190 years ago today, Thomas Jefferson passed away. Our country has been the honored home of many other geniuses. Abraham Lincoln was a genius at political leadership. Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass were geniuses of moral uplift. Albert Einstein was a scientific genius who brought new understanding of light and motion within our grasp. But few, if any, have been as wide-ranging in their genius as Thomas Jefferson was. Though outmatched in particular fields, Jefferson's breadth of knowledge remains as unchallenged today as it was then. Wouldn't you really love to have dinner with Thomas Jefferson? I hope it wouldn't be because he just had the best wines. I would like to think it would be because whatever you cared to bring up, Thomas Jefferson could talk with you about it, and talk with you about it in an engaging kind of way. Well, why hasn't America produced such a well-rounded genius as Thomas Jefferson? There are many possible answers. Jefferson's genius was stimulated in part by his experience with a country that was right on the verge of creation. If you or I communicated regularly with James Madison or John Adams, we might all become geniuses too. Even Alexander Hamilton, Jefferson's bitter political rival, sharpened Jefferson's mind and contributed to Jefferson's genius. But part of the answer of why Jefferson stands alone is that our world is so much more specialized now than the one Thomas Jefferson lived in. Jefferson lived at a time when many areas of study were still very primitive. Now it can take years to master even the basics of a particular field. You may want to become a great neurosurgeon, and that's fine, but there wouldn't be much time for anything else. So it has now become inconceivable that any person could master so much that their private library, like Jefferson's, could become a whole new Library of Congress. So we are celebrating your new citizenship today at the home of America's most versatile genius ever, the likes of whom we shall never see again. Should this be cause for dismay? No, because we have now come to understand that genius is a group endeavor where we draw upon the insights of each other to produce a whole nation greater than the sum of its parts. This is why the Great Seal of the United States is inscribed with the phrase "A pluribus unum," out of many, one. All those people in Silicon Valley are really smart, I'm sure, but companies today design their management practices around working and succeeding as a team. Would Jefferson lament the fact that genius is now more and more a collective enterprise? Quite the contrary. I think he would have loved it. His curiosity was unbounded. He cherished knowledge for its own sake, whatever its source. So it's my privilege to welcome you as new citizens of this wonderful country. How many people actually get to become American citizens in a place that's so special as this? I hope you'll tell your friends all your life that you were naturalized at Monticello. Don't ever cease to be excited about the fact that you were at the most special naturalization ceremony this country has. Our nation will be better because of you, and America's unique genius will be mighty proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Wilkinson, for those provoking and interesting comments. Jefferson may have written 1,800 letters in his lifetime, but Judge Wilkinson has authored almost that many judicial opinions. And I hope he writes many, many more. I congratulate all of our new citizens and their family members. We heard from such a great contingent of family members and friends today. Congratulations to you as well. I know that as for the new citizens, some of you have lived in this country for many, many years. You've put off making this decision. You've put off going through the process to declare your citizenship. And it's fine. We're glad that you've chosen to do so, culminating today. Others of you have traveled a different path, perhaps a dangerous path, perhaps a path that had many obstacles, many dangerous circumstances and barricades in the road that you had to get over to get to this place in your life, to get to the point at which you have become a citizen of the United States of America. I know that each one of you has a different, a special, and an interesting story to tell about how you came to this point in your lives, or about how you feel about your new country, or about what this day means to you, what this ceremony has meant in your lives. It's a tradition in our court to give new citizens the opportunity to share a personal word, something that's on their heart, something that's on their mind, something that they would like their fellow citizens to know, and perhaps all those others who've congregated here as well. So at this time, I'm going to give the new citizens that opportunity, that chance. If any of you has something that you would wish to say, I offer you the opportunity to do so at this time. It only takes one of you to start. I know others will follow along, and I am capable of calling on someone if someone doesn't volunteer to be first. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. I hope everyone can hear me. Maybe I'll stand.
Please.
My name's Kim, and I mostly just want to dedicate this to my mom, who is right over there. We came to this country 16 years ago. She was a single mom who just was in pursuit of the American dream. And, you know, we packed our bags, and she said, we're doing this. We're going to the USA. And as a 12-year-old, I was overwhelmed and excited about this great adventure. And, you know, there's so much that happened in that 16 years, including a single mom working overnight shifts, doing manual work at a water heater company, a single mom getting her high school education and becoming a teacher, and a single mom raising 2 other boys. So, needless to say, I wouldn't be here without her, and I wanted to dedicate this day to her. So, and to all the moms and dads and parents out there.
So well said. Thank you to all the mothers and dads, sisters and brothers, sons, daughters who've joined their loved one for this ceremony today. We're very, very glad you're here, and we're very glad that you can celebrate this very wonderful occasion. Who else would like to share a word? Yes, sir.
My name is Raj, and I'm from India.
I do want to say the very first knowledge of this country, to me, is as a land of opportunity for the gifted. And one of the main reasons I wanted to speak today is I worked very hard as a child, as a student in India, and I kept getting oppressed. I really did. In fact, when I was a medical resident, I helped my own colleagues learn. However, my attendings did not like me. My teachers did not really like me very much. And when at the final grade, they actually told me, I'll make sure that you fail. But they didn't. Now, I chose to come here and start from scratch, and I'm very grateful that all the repression that I had to go through has been corrected here, and I ended up being able to head up a whole department. And that would happen only in this country. So thank you.
Dr. Sabato, I think we have some future candidates for office in this group, and that gentleman certainly qualifies in that category, doesn't he? Very well said. Who else would like to share with us? Yes, ma'am. We have two. Who wants to go first?
Hi, my name is Janet. I'm overwhelmed. I am grateful to stand before you. I am grateful for my mother, Hawa, and my dad, Brakari, and my godmother, Cindy, plus my brother, Elijah. I'm naming everybody. Well, I'm grateful for them supporting me since I was a little girl. Came here in 2007, had no idea where I was coming to, and I went to school. I'm learning my rights and knowing who I am and what I want to become. Because of my mother, I choose a career that will help not only me, but people outside of my family. And I'm grateful for that. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to stand here and enjoy this moment with everybody else.
I want to say hi, everybody. My name is Nawal El Shama. I'm Middle Eastern girl, Russian girl at the same time. I have two citizenship. I came to United States 2011 with two kids with my husband after a terrorist attack. They tried to kill my son and my daughter, and my husband. And thanks God that they are still alive, and we came safe to this country and give the opportunity to me to be an American citizen, which I'm so happy because I am now just American woman, not Russian, not Iraqi, not Muslim, not Christian. I'm just Nawal El Shama, the American woman. When I come here, I don't know anything. In my pocket, $2,000, that's all. And I don't know how to speak, I don't know how to work, I don't know how anything to do here. There is an American lady, and I want to give all my appreciation to her to teach me everything here. And she is there, Glenda Graswell. She supports us in everything, every single step in this when we come here. Thank you, Glenda Graswell. Thank you, United States. Thank you, all of you people, to share this moment. Thank you.
My name is Wendy. I'm from Bolivia, and I just want to give thanks to God for all these years that I've been here. Here I've met many people who helped me, put me through school, and through all these blessings here, they did not only help me, but hold my family back home. I won't keep everybody here much longer. I just want to say thank you to the United States. Thank you to God for giving me all these blessings. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Mayak Gala. I'm actually been my story is a little bit different. I've been a resident of Virginia and Charlottesville for 37 years. And my parents came here in the 60s, and I felt as much an American before this ceremony as after this ceremony. And I just want to give all honor and glory to my Heavenly Father, and I'm thankful because I believe to whom much is given, much is required. And today I just feel a sense of responsibility. I got my little boy Elliot in the crowd, and Archer, and my wife Sajel, and I'm just thankful. I've run a business in this city for 23 years, and where else can you have an opportunity like this where we can keep people in the rain? You like that? We're keeping you here. I think JFK said it best. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And that, for me, is a sense of responsibility, and I'm excited about passing that on to my children. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Jude Christian. No, you go.
In April, my little daughter Sophia was somewhere back in the audience, and I went to petition Mr. Hurt, and he met with us, and I wanted to tell everybody what a wonderful country is, that even as a non-citizen, you can go and petition your government for something you feel important about. And I want to thank Mr. Hurt for making my daughter see that democracy works and that she has a voice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you all have a voice. Please join us and keep it alive.
Okay. My name is Judith Christian. I have lived in America for 25 years, and today I will register to vote for the very first time. And when I vote, I will be voting for the very first time in my entire life, because I left home before I could vote, and when I settled in America, I could not vote. So at 44 years old, this year, I will get to vote, and I'm exceedingly happy. I do not have a tale of hardship. I've been incredibly blessed with opportunity in England, and most especially in America. And I have a wonderful, supportive family who are here, and great friends, some of whom are here. And I cannot say enough how much America has done to be a part of the life that I have, and I'm very thankful. I'd like to thank Monticello, not for the rain, but for the beautiful ceremony, and congratulate my fellow new citizens. It's a wonderful day. I do feel, very quickly, in short, that I need to also say that we must remember that but for a select few, we are all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. We are more similar than we are different. And on this day, I feel it's really important to remember that. So, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anastasia. This is the most touching moment for me, so if I forget English in the middle of my speech, I'm sorry. I came to America about 8 years ago, and I remember when I packed my suitcases, I was worried that people wouldn't accept me here, that people would not understand me, and I didn't speak any language, nothing. And I remember when I first came to US and I noticed that everyone smiles, they hold doors for you. I was like, what is this? This is amazing. And after about 8 years, people started asking me, do you miss home? Do you ever go back home? And they say, this is my home now. And I love America, and I was waiting for this moment for such a long time. And I would like to thank every single person that I've met during this trip here, and thank you, America.
Several of you have spoken about voting. That's a subject that's very close to Dr. Sabato's heart. And I think it's very important. Please vote now. You're eligible. Participate fully in the electoral process. Judge Moon and I see you in a different light. We see all the new citizens as performing an additional potential purpose and obligation of citizenship, because Judge Moon and I are trial judges, and we see you as what? Jurors, that's right, potential jurors. So if called upon to serve in that capacity, I ask that you do so willingly. I ask that you do so with enthusiasm. I ask that you do so with the understanding that you're in for something good and interesting. It's a great experience, and not only are new citizens, but those family members, friends, spectators who are present, who are called to serve in this capacity, do so with vigor and enthusiasm. You'll have a very good time and perform a very, very important service. Do we have any other new citizens who wish to speak? Before we close, I see my friends from the Daughters of the American Revolution here today. Once again, they participate in all our naturalization proceedings. Let's give them a round of applause as well. The Albemarle chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. I want to thank all those who shared comments with us today. I do appreciate what you had to say, and I thought all of you spoke so eloquently, so well, and it is greatly appreciated. I thank those who didn't speak also, because I know that you have just as strong feelings about the decision that you made, this place that you are in life. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been here today. You wouldn't have made this critical decision. So regardless of whether you spoke or whether you did not, I thank each of you for your strong feelings about being citizens of the United States on this very special and overcast day. I see the umbrellas out again, so we're going to finish up in a minute, but what a great crowd we've had. And I want to thank all those in attendance for braving the weather and being here, getting a little wet, but participating in a ceremony that I hope you'll remember the rest of your lives. As we prepare to close this session of the court, I want to extend my best wishes to the new citizens, their family members, and friends. I challenge you to make your citizenship count. Be active in your communities and civic endeavors. Be a volunteer. Be someone who contributes to the solution. Participate always with enthusiasm. I tell you again, as I always do to all our new citizens, each one of you is special. Each one of you is unique. Each one of you comes to your new country equipped with tools, abilities, skills, insights that no other citizen possesses. So put these to good use. Make sure you contribute to the common good and help this country solve the problems that will inevitably arise in the years ahead. Good luck to each of you, and my hope is that your lives will be very rich and very full. Mr. Sellers, you may adjourn this session of court, please.
All rise. By direction of His Honor, this United States District Court stands adjourned for the day.
Thank you, Mr. Sellers. Please be seated. Thank you, Judge Conrad. Thank you, Congressman Hurt. And a special thanks to our country's newest citizens. You remind us of the real meaning of this holiday, which is why we celebrate it with fireworks, family, and picnics, even in the rain. So now I want to ask the audience a question. I want to ask you to support our newest citizens, and I want, if you will do so, to answer with a resounding, "We do." Do you promise to assist our newest citizens in fulfilling the duties and enjoying the rights of American citizenship in our community? We do. And for those of you who wish to pledge your own vow of citizenship in this great, young, hopeful, visionary nation, we invite you for the first time in this ceremony to pledge your commitment to living the life of an engaged citizen. In partnership with the Sworn Again program of Citizen University in Seattle, we invite all of you who are inspired by today's ceremony to join me in taking the oath of a sworn again American. The words are on the bottom of page 3 of your program. You new citizens, you don't have to do this because you just did it. And afterwards, there's a booth behind you on the West Lawn where you can turn your oath into actions in our community. So if you wish to do so, I invite you to stand, to raise your right hand, and to read with me the oath. Are you ready? All these umbrellas going up, I love it. I pledge to be an active American, to show up for others, to govern myself, to help govern my community. I recommit myself to my country's creed, to cherish liberty as a responsibility. I pledge to serve and to push my country, when right, to be kept right, when wrong, to be set right. Wherever my ancestors and I were born, I claim America, and I pledge to live like a citizen. Thank you, and be seated. Now please join in singing America the Beautiful, led by Ashland Opera principal artist Corey Crider. The words are at the bottom of the last page of your program. Thank you, Mr. Crider, and please be seated. On behalf of the foundation, I once again congratulate the new citizens and their families on a monumental accomplishment. Well done. For adding immeasurably to this ceremony, I also want to thank Dr. Larry Sabato, Judge Conrad, Congressman Hurt, the members of the court, the Coca-Cola Corporation, the Edward W. and Betty Knight Scripps Foundation, Steve Lehman and the Charlottesville Municipal Band, the United States Army Chorus, the Lewis and Clark Fife and Drum Corps, Mr. Corey Crider, and the Ashland Opera, the Daughters of the American Revolution, and our community partners, the Daily Progress, Light Rock, Z 95.1, 1070 WINA, Tranlin, and Piedmont, Virginia Community College. Can you give them all a round of applause? And I also want to thank more than 400 staff and volunteers at Monticello who never ever have a holiday on July 4th because we enjoy celebrating it with you and enjoy this moment when we can salute the great birthday of our republic. In the spirit of independence, we encourage all citizens, new and longstanding, to exercise your right to vote. I think you've heard that a little bit today. The Albemarle County Registrars and the League of Women Voters will help you take that first step at the registration table located to the left. Look, you're already wet. You might as well go register. Today's ceremony will conclude with a performance by the Charlottesville Municipal Band under the leadership of the wonderful Steve Lehman. We hope you'll stay for our Jeffersonian open house, enjoy Coke floats, children's activities, and patriotic music from the youth orchestras of Central Virginia. I also invite you to the rear of the West Lawn for a final performance by the Lewis and Clark Fife and Drum Corps. They've come all the way from Missouri, these fantastic young musicians. Please be part of their last performance here. And if you need any assistance, our staff are wearing red shirts with the Monticello logo. Thank you for coming and for cheering on our citizens. Happy birthday to our great republic. Thank you.